Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's class. We are going to be starting the next big section in Hebrews, which goes from Hebrews 8 to end of chapter 9. Today, we're just going to look at Hebrews chapter 8, verses 1 to 6. We talked a lot about Jesus being a high priest, the difference between the Levitical system and Jesus's high priesthood, about Melchizedek and how Jesus is a priest forever, how this promise was made, and how the author of Hebrews starts off this section is great because he's kind of driving. Why did he go over all of this that he's gone over so far? He starts it off with, now the point in what we are saying is this, meaning this is what he's been trying to get at with everything that he's shared so far. And he says, we have such a high priest, the one who is seated at the right hand of the throne of majesty in heaven, a minister in the holy places in the true tent that the Lord set up, not man. So this is the point, that we have an incredible high priest in Jesus who is ministering in the true temple, the temple of heaven, and he is in the high places. So our priest is not a priest like we see in the Levitical system where they go into the tent or later on into the temple, but our high priest is ministering at the right hand of the Father. He is ministering in the true holy place, not a type and shadow of it, and he is ministering in heaven, the true tent that the Lord set up, not man. So this is where Jesus ministers. This is not something made by human hands or artisans, but this is made by God. It is the real deal. And so for every high priest is appointed to offer gifts and sacrifices. Thus it is necessary for this priest is Jesus, also to have something to offer. So now he's going to go into some of the differences with the old system. Now, if he were here on earth, he would not be a priest at all, since there are priests who offer gifts according to the law. They serve a copy and shadow of the heavenly things. Let's stop there. So, going through the old system, the high priest was appointed to offer gifts and sacrifices. So we covered this a bit already, but the high priest would go and perform the sacrifices, all these different things on a daily basis. They would do the one time, the Day of Atonement. We'll get into that later, every year. And for a priest to be a priest, they have to offer something to God. And so it is necessary then for Jesus also to have something to offer. But what does Jesus offer? Jesus offers nothing according to the law. And so this is interesting because now if he were on earth, he would not be a priest at all. So again, we are understanding, the whole point of before was to understand that Jesus is not a priest according to the law. He does not offer gifts and sacrifices according to the law. He is not doing this according to the old covenant and the old system. Why? Because they were a copy and a shadow of the real system, the heavenly things. What is the proof of this? For when Moses was about to erect the tent, he was instructed by God, saying, "See that you make everything according to the pattern that was shown to you on the mountain." If he makes everything according to the pattern that was shown to him, what is he modeling it after? He is modeling it after the true tent, the heavenly tent that we see right in the beginning, that Jesus is in a minister in the holy places, in the true tent that the Lord set up. But now when Moses erects this tent, it is according to the pattern and the model of the true tent that he saw on the mountain. So Jesus is not offering sacrifices according to this code, according to the old things, the law, because that was just a type and shadow. What he is going to offer is going to be so much better, is going to be greater, and it's going to be according to a new system. Again, we'll get into that, getting ahead of myself. But as it is, Christ has obtained a ministry that is more excellent than the old covenant he mediates, is better since it is enacted on better promises. All right, so we see that word ministry again. We get that in the beginning, that what is Jesus doing? He is a minister in the holy places. Now Christ has obtained a ministry that is what? More excellent than that of the old covenant. So this section is really looking at Jesus as the ministering high priest. This is what Jesus does. This is who he is. And his ministry is more excellent than the ministry of the old system of the old high priest. Why? Because they were ministering under the old covenant, and what Jesus mediates, this new covenant, is better. Why is it better? Because it's enacted on better promises. What we get in the new covenant, what we celebrate every Sunday in the Eucharist and communion, is the proclamation of this new covenant that we have in Jesus, and it is a better covenant. It has better promises. It is better all around. So his point that he comes to an end here is Jesus mediates a new and a better covenant. So he doesn't offer sacrifices like a priest in the old system. What he is going to offer to God is part of the true tent in heavens. It's not a type and a shadow. It is the real thing. And so his proof for that, we're going to get into tomorrow's class, where he's going to be talking about why do we need an old covenant, and what is the proof for this new covenant that we need. And he takes that proof from the Old Testament. So just remember, Jesus does not offer sacrifices and gifts based off of the law of the Old Covenant. What he offers and the ministry that he provides as a priest is much better. It is more excellent. It is on a better covenant with better promises. And we can look to him as a greater ministry as he's what? As he is seated at the right hand of the throne of majesty in heaven, a minister in the holy places. His priesthood far exceeds and is far superior than any priesthood that the Levitical system could have offered, than any priest in all of the Old Covenant. And the covenant that he mediates is greater, it is superior, it is better. And that is the covenant that he is a priest of. He does not offer sacrifices and gifts based off the old one of the law. In fact, he is not even able to be a priest of that law. He has nothing to offer within it. And so because of that, we see that he is a priest of an entirely new system, a new covenant. And we're going to get into more of what this new covenant is in tomorrow's class. Thanks for joining today, and looking forward to seeing you in our next class.